بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم الحمد لله رب العالمين صلى الله على سيدنا محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين اللهم أخرجني من ظلمات الوهم وأكرمني من نور الفهم اللهم افتح علينا أبواب رحمتك وانشر علينا خزائن علومك برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. As you remember, we started the section on Mafhum, implicit meanings, and after the introduction, the very first type of Mafhum is Mafhum al-Shart. And in the previous session, I gave you some introduction to the discussion today to prepare your mind. So now, inshallah, your mind is prepared. Basically, the main mafhum is mafhum al-shart. So there are few of them, but the first one that is more kind of common and more discussed and perhaps more obvious than others, if you accept, of course, is mafhum al-shart. And that is when you have a conditional sentence. If P, then Q. This is al-jumlatu shartiyya, conditional sentence. This much is spoken, is mantuq, that if P happens, Q happens. But mafhum al-shart is if not P, not Q. Can we have such thing? Especially when the conditional jaza, because we have conditional and condition. P is condition, Q is conditional upon P. Can we say if P is not there, Q is also not there? For example, if you have wuzu and then you sleep, make wuzu. So if you don't sleep, can we say you don't need to make wuzu? And wuzu continues or not? So this is the discussion. Ayatollah Subhani, like many other scholars, they say there are few conditions that we have to observe so that we can accept mafhum al-shart. I already gave you a list of 4. 1, this shart should not be something for introducing the subject, something that shows the subject exists, in the sense that if shart is not there, the subject is not there. There is no such subject. It has to be something about a subject, and then you say when that condition is not fulfilled, is conditional also removed or not? But if the existence of subject depends on this condition, when there is no condition, then there is nothing to talk about it. For example, if the conditional sentence is this: if you are given a son, you must arrange for circumcision. Okay? In ruziqta waladan fakhtinhu. If you are given a son, arrange for circumcision. Okay. Here we don't talk about mafhum al-shart. Because what does mafhum al-shart mean? If you are not given a son, you don't need to circumcise. To circumcise what? If someone is not being given a son, then there is no subject, to talk about it. So this is obviously out of question. Is it clear? So there has to be a subject that whether condition is met or not, the subject remains there. This is one condition. The second condition is that there must be a kind of relation between conditional and condition which is not accidental. Okay? There must be a kind of luzum. For example, if by accident, by chance, two things happen together, whenever A happens, B also happens, then you cannot say when A is not there, B is not there. Maybe another example which is in the book might be clearer. If human being is haywan natiq, horse is haywan sahib. These two have no relation with each other, but both of them are correct. If human being is haywan natiq, horse is haywan sahil, but no relation. It's two unrelated facts. But it is true that if P, Q, okay, this type of sentence has no mafhum. You cannot say if insan is not haywan natiq, then horse is not haywan sahib. There must be also a kind of luzum. There must be causal relation also. The third is that there must be a causal relation. And the fourth, which is the most fundamental one, without which even if you have all the three would not be enough, is exclusiveness. That illah, that cause has to be exclusive cause. For example, if we say if heater is on, room is hot or warm. If heater is on, room is warm. We cannot say if heater is not on, room is not warm. Why? Because sun is shining. Maybe it's summer. So if there is no exclusive cause, then non-existence of that particular cause doesn't mean that the effect is not there, because it can be another cause. Okay? Let us read what I have explained and then we carry on. Page 93. Al-awwalu mafhum al-Shart. إن دلالة الجملة الشرطية على المفهوم أي انتفاء الجزاء لدى انتفاء الشرط لا يتم إلا إذا ثبتت الأمور الأربعة التالية. For the conditional sentence to indicate mafhum, to have implicit meaning, and that is to say that the conditional would be removed if shart, if condition is removed, would not complete unless four following things are there. You have to establish these four conditions so that you accept mafhum al-Shart. Is it clear? How much clear? Very clear. First, the first one is very easy. The first one is about you should have a subject that without condition can remain. If the condition is to bring the subject into existence, then without condition there is no subject to talk about it. And النزاع في وجود المفهوم في القضايا الشرطية أنما هو فيما إذا عد القيد شيئا زائدا على الموضوع. The debate about existence of mafhum, implicit meaning, for conditional sentences is only when that modifier is something additional to the subject. So the sentence involves a subject, a predicate, which is the conditional, and a condition. So the predicate is there, the subject is there, and then there is a condition. فَيَقَعُ النِّزَاعُ. Then the debate is this. في دلالة القضية الشرطية على انتفاء المحمول عن الموضوع. Would this conditional sentence indicate that predicate is removed from the subject? So there must be a subject that we talk about it. عند انتفاء الشرط, when the condition is removed. وعدمها, or عدم الدلالة. Does it indicate this or doesn't indicate it? Is it clear? So when the condition is not there, is mahmul, which is the conditional jaza, is it remaining for the subject or does not remain for the subject? But subject must be independent from condition. Let us give you an example. For example, Imam alayhi salam says, إذا كان الماء قدر كر لم ينجسه شيء. If water is kur, the size, the volume of water is kur. You know kur. Lam yunajjishu shay'un. Nothing would make it najis. Of course, it means by touching. Otherwise, if too much najasa is put into it so that the color or the taste or smell changes, that's another issue. فَهُنَاكَ مَوْضُوعٌ وَهُوَ الْمَاءُ. What is the subject? Water. وَمَحْمُولٌ. What is the predicate? لا ينجس شيء. Al-Asamiyya means it's protected from being najis. It doesn't become mutanajis. وَشَيْءٌ آخر. The third thing after mawzu and mahmul, we have shart. Al-ma'u إذا كان kur. So if it is kur, najasat would not affect it. What if it is not kur? If the condition is not there, would that ruling change so that la yunajjisuhu becomes yunajjisuhu? Maybe yunajjisuhu something else. وَشَيْءٌ آخر بِاسْمِ الشَّرْط. This is بِاسْمِ الشَّرْط, not basim. It's not basim. بِاسْمِ الشَّرْط. أعني الكرية. فَإِنْ انتفاء الشَّرْط, if Korea is removed, يبقى الموضوع بحاله. Subject remains in its place. What is the subject? Ma. You have ma, but it's ma qalil. Then it's not ma kor. بخلاف القضايا التي يعد الشرط فيها محققا not محققا محققا للموضوع. What does محقق mean?
Like properly researched?
No.
To take
One meaning of محقق means researcher. But محقق here means giving حقيقة, means giving existence. Originates. If the Yes, what was the sentence? Yes. القضايا التي يعد الشرط فيها محققا للموضوع. The condition brings موضوع into existence, gives it reality. If condition is not there, we don't have such a thing as subject. Okay? So we are not talking about those cases that the condition brings the subject into existence. And then irtifa al-Shart, when condition is removed, mawzu is removed. If mawzu is removed, then there is no point of talking whether the predicate remains or doesn't remain. خارجة عن محل النزاع. This is out of the debate and discussion. For example, إن رزقت ولدا فاختنه. Okay? إن رزقت ولدا فاختنه. What does it mean? It's like, for example, الولد إن رزقت فاختنه. If lam turzaq, if you are not given a son, then there is no need to talk about whether we have to do circumcision or not, because without son you don't have anything to talk about it. So this shart is a shart that brings subject into existence. Yeah?
In that sentence, Sheikh, now what is the subject and what is the condition?
Subject is walad, son,
And the condition is also son?
to be born, to be given to you. If a son is given to you, if you are given son, means, okay, if you are not given son, then you don't have son. Which means like if son exists, the second condition, وجود الرابطة بين الجزاء والشرط في القضية. There must be a relation between condition and conditional. Jaza is the conditional, is like mahmul, shart is condition. What do we mean that there must be a relation? بأن لا يكون من قبيل القضايا الاتفاقية. It should not be like those sentences or those propositions which are ittifaqi, means accidental. Ittifaq means like accident. For example, كلما كان الإنسان ناطقا فالحمار ناهق or فالفرس صاهل. Whenever human beings are natiq, donkey is nahiq. Okay, it's true, but they have no relation with each other. You have brought two things next to each other which have no relation. This is just accident. Okay? So here there is no talk, there is no discussion about if shart is not there, is jaza also going to be there or not, because they are not relevant to each other. فَإِنَّ التَّقَارُنْ مِنْ بَابِ الْإِتِّفَاقِ. Coming together of these two sentences is just by chance, by accident. The third condition, أن يكون الرابطة من باب الترتب، أي ترتب أحدهما على الآخر. The relation must be the relation of causality. One of them should depend on the other. Depend on the other. بأن يكون الشرط علة للجزاء. The condition should be a cause for the conditional. So فخرج ما إذا لم يكن هناك أي ترتب. So if there is no causality, no relation, then it's excluded from debate. So our debate is focused on cases in which all these four conditions are met. Okay? The condition should not be for existence of subject. It must not be accidental. It must be causal. And then we go to the next condition, inshallah, which is munhasir, exclusive. بأن يكون الشرط إلة للجزاء فخرج ما إذا لم يكن هناك أي ترتب. If there is no ترتب, no dependence. For example, إن طال الليل قصر النهار. If night is long, day is short. Or if day is short, night is long. Okay, it's true. But none of them depends on the other. If someone asks you, is night short because day is long, or is day long because night is short? What do you say?
It's not related to each other.
Pardon?
They're not related to each other. They're not dependent on each other.
They don't. They relate to each other, but they don't depend on each other. These are like two sides of the same coin. Two sides of the same coin. You don't discuss which side of the coin depends on the other side. Yeah? They don't depend on each other. فَلَيْسَ بَيْنَهُمَا أَيُّ تَرَتُّبٍ عِلِّيٍّ. There is no causal dependence. فَإِنَّ الْإِنْتِفَاء عِنْدَ الْإِنْتِفَاء, when one of them is removed, the other is removed, is because they are opposite. They are mutazad. Therefore, when two things are opposite each other, if one of them is not there, the other has to be there. But there is no dependence. Like for example, if someone says, إِذَا كَانَ الْجِسْمُ سَاكِنًا فَلَيْسَ بِمُتَحَرِّكٍ. If something is idle, it's not moving. Okay, it's true. If something is idle, it's not moving. And if it's moving, it's not idle. But none of them depends on the other. Yeah, to be idle or to be moving, which one depends on the other? None of them depends on the other. Number 4, أن يكون الترتب عليا انحصاريا. This dependence has to be exclusive causality. In other words, shart has to be exclusive cause for jaza. What do we mean by exclusive? We mean that there is no alternative cause. This is the only cause. If it is not there, there is no other cause. Therefore, you can argue from this sentence that if A is not there, B also cannot be there. Why? Because A is the only cause for B. When an effect has only one cause, then when A is not there, B is not there. Okay? أن يكون الترتب عليا انحصاريا ومعنى الانحصار عدم وجود علة أخرى تقوم مقام الشرط. The meaning of exclusiveness is that there is no other cause that can stand in the place of this condition. There is no alternative. Okay. Those who believe in Mafhum al-Shart, al-Qa'ilu bil-Mafhum, those who believe in Mafhum, they have no choice other than proving these 4. And those who don't believe in Mafhum al-Shart, it's enough for them to deny one of these 4. Yeah? Because to have it, you need 4 of them. If you can reject one of them, the result is that there is no Mafhum. Is it clear? Because there are 4 conditions. If one of them is missing, the conditional is not there. يكفي للقائل بالعدم منع واحد منها. It's sufficient for those who deny Mafhum to deny one of these 4. If they can deny more than one, okay.
Mafhum entirely or Mafhum
No, we are talking about Mafhum al-Shart. These are 4 conditions for Mafhum al-Shart. Of course, some of them repeat. ثم, now, question. Those who say that the conditional sentence has these 4 conditions, therefore they believe in Mafhum al-Shart. What type of indication they talk about? Those who say conditional sentence indicates all these 4. What type of indication they mean? Do they mean ad-dalalatul wad'iyya? Jumla shartiyya is designated to mean that there is tarattub, there is illaya, there is inhisar, and subject is not created by conditional. Is it vaz? Is it insiraf? Means the mind by hearing jumla shartiyya turns quickly towards these 4, or it is itlaq, by using muqaddamatul hikmah you understand that these 4 are there. What type of dalala is there? For those who accept, of course. Those who don't accept, of course, none of dalalat. But those who accept, some say dalalatul wad'iyya means the structure of jumla shartiyya is designated to mean these 4. Or al-insiraf means when you hear jumla shartiyya, these 4 come to your mind quickly, insiraf. And the third is al-itlaq, and that is by muqaddamat. We say Shari has said this jumla shartiyya and there is no other things mentioned, and he is in maqam al-bayan, so he must have meant all these 4. We will talk about it. ثم إن دلالة الجملة الشرطية على هذه الأمور بأحد الوجوه التالية. Indication of conditional sentence on these 4 is in one of the following ways. Wujuh means ways. Al-Wad'a. You remember Al-Wad'a? Yeah. Yeah. Wad' means designation. To allocate a term or a structure to a meaning. ادعاء وضع هيئة الجملة الشرطية على ما يلازم هذه الأمور الثلاثة. So, to claim that the structure of conditional sentence is designated for something that implies and has correlation with these 3. So you have to claim. If you say vaz, so it means that you have to say and prove that the very structure of jumla shartiyya has been designated in language, for example Arabic, for something that has all these conditions. ترتب علية انحصارية. ادعاء وضع هيئة الجملة الشرطية على ما يلازم هذه الأمور الثلاثة الرابطة الترتب الانحصار. To claim that designation of the structure of conditional sentence is for what implies these 3. الرابطة, it should not be accidental. الترتب, it should be causality. And انحصار, exclusive. Why it doesn't say the first condition? Because the first condition is very obvious. Without that, there is no subject to talk about it. Al-insiraf. Insiraf is like tabadur, means something quickly comes to your mind. The mind is moving towards this direction, because this meaning. ادعاء انصراف الجملة الشرطية في ذهن المخاطب إلى هذه الأمور. to claim that conditional sentence in the mind of the addressee moves towards these four. Means these four come to your mind. Brings these four quickly to your mind. Brings these four without any extra evidence to your mind. And saraf means without extra evidence, these come to your mind. Or al-itlaq, and that is to claim that the speaker was intending to explain whatever is needed fi maqam al-bayan. So he was in the context, in a situation that he wanted to express what we have to know. Kana fi maqam bayan al-ilal, what we have to know about the causes. Walam yadhkur illa wahidan, but he mentioned only one. So he wanted to mention everything that we have to know, but he only mentioned one condition as one cause. So it means that there is no other cause, unless it is proved otherwise. فَيُعْلَمُ انْحِصَارُهَا. So we know that this is exclusive. This Aliyah is exclusive. فَتَثْبُتُ الرَّابِطَةِ وَالتَّرَتُّبْ بِوَجْهٍ أَوْلَى. So the relation of causality would be proved more obviously. If inhisar is proved, then it's a sign that the previous two are also proved. Because inhisar only makes sense when there is tarattub illi, and there is causal relation. So when the last one is proved, then means that the tarattub is proved, Aliyah is proved, and that is why then inhisar can be proved. Okay, now let's see which of these three are acceptable. Can we say the delala is waz'i or insiraf or itlaq? أما إثباتها بالطريق الأول. If someone wants to prove and establish that الجملة الشرطية تدل على المفهوم بالوضع. Okay, conditional sentence indicates mafhum by designation. فالحق دلالة الجملة الشرطية على الأمرين. What is correct is that the conditional sentence indicates two things. Unfortunately, not more than these two. الرابطة والترتب. There is relation, it's not accidental, and there is causality, that's it. But to say that that causality is inhisari, it's exclusive, is not included in the meaning for which al-jumlatu shartiyya is designated. Causality, relation and causality. Tarattub means causality. Rabita means relation. فالحق دلالة الجملة الشرطية على الأمرين. The true is, the correct opinion is that conditional sentence indicates two things. الرابطة والترتب, relation and causality. وذلك لأن المتبادر من هيئة الجملة الشرطية, because what comes quickly to our mind without any extra evidence is فرض وجود الشرط وتقدير حصوله, is that the condition is there, and this is something that we can imagine. يتلوه حصول الجزاء وتحققه, on the condition that shart exists, أن فرض وجود الشرط وتقدير حصوله يتلوه حصول الجزاء, and the condition, or when the assumption is that shart exists, what comes after it is jaza also exists. So there is a relationship. And there is a causality. هذا مما لا يمكن إنكاره. So this is to believe in relation and causality. But to go further and say that we understand from this that the cause is exclusive, we don't have evidence for this. أما إثبات الأمر الثالث. أمر الثالث, what is أمر الثالث? انحصار. Because out of 4, the first one we left it aside because very clear. Without that there is no discussion. So there are 3 things. It has to be rabita, there has to be relation, it has to be causality, and it has to be exclusive. أما إثبات الأمر الثالث وهو أن العلية بنحو الانحصار, to prove the third, and that is that the causality is exclusive, to prove it بالدلالة الوضعية, to prove it with designational meaning or indication, غير ثابت, it's not proved to us. Why? Why we cannot say exclusiveness of the condition is understood from the text? It says because these are philosophical distinctions. It's very fine and articulate and delicate distinction to say causes are exclusive or not exclusive. When people use language and terms, they use it not with this level of accuracy and this level of sophistication. لأن تقسيم العلة إلى المنحصرة وغير المنحصرة من المفاهيم الفلسفية البعيدة عن الأذهان العامة، فمن البعيد أن ينتقل الواضع إلى التقسيم. Because dividing cause into exclusive and non-exclusive is one of those philosophical concepts which is very far from the minds of the lay people, minds of the public. تقسيم العلة إلى المنحصرة وغير المنحصرة من المفاهيم الفلسفية البعيدة عن الأذهان العامة is one of those philosophical concepts which are far from the minds of the average people or lay people. فمن البعيد أن ينتقل الواضع إلى التقسيم. So it's very unlikely that the one who has designated this language would go to this distinction of saying that it is either munhasir or غير المنحصر, it's exclusive or non-exclusive. And then he says, okay, there are 2 types, exclusive and non-exclusive, and I coined the term of shart for exclusive. So the first is not acceptable. وَأَمَّا إِثْبَاتُ الْإِنْحِصَارِ بِالْإِنْصِرَافِ. This is also unlikely. Because what is the course of action that leads to insiraf? Why something is with such quality that when you hear certain meaning come to your mind? كثرة الاستعمال في العلة المنحصرة. It has to be because of abundant usage of جملة شرطية in exclusive cause, or it has to be that the cause being exclusive is more perfect than the cause which is not exclusive. And both of them are not acceptable. We cannot claim that many times people use shart in exclusive cause. We cannot also prove that exclusive cause is more perfect. The third option is to say these conditions of tarattub and exclusiveness and relation are not because of vaz and not because of inhisar. They are because of itlaq, with the help of muqaddamatul hikmah. أما إثبات الانحصار بالإطلاق, to prove that انحصار is only understood and established through إطلاق. إطلاق means that the Shari, the legislator, has said something without bringing modifier. So, إطلاق. Inhisar means exclusiveness. To prove exclusiveness through itlaq means that we have to say that he wanted to explain everything needed, and he was able to mention that this is not غير انحصاري, and still he didn't mention that. أما إثبات الانحصار بالإطلاق وهو كون المتكلم في مقام البيان. إطلاق is always that he has to be, a speaker has to be in the context of explaining himself. Anything that you need for practice, he wants to tell you. This needs two types. One of the two types, if happen, you can believe in this. But I think these two are difficult to understand. Maybe we leave it for, inshallah, next session. Please study in advance because a little bit the text is difficult. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين.